on the track.
What's good? What's good? What's up, Atlanta? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? We got our lovely. Hold on. Sorry about that. We got our lovely guest in the house. What's up, Mr. Julian Walker?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
That's what's up, man. So we so glad to have you in the ATL today on the Time to Shine radio show at World Star Hit Radio. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right,
I'm happy to be here.
You happy to be here?
Yes.
So for those who don't know who Julian Walker is, give us a timeline of who you are.
Okay. Well, of course, my name is Julian Walker. I was in a film called Blackbird with Monique and, Oscar winner Monique.
Excuse me.
Isaiah Washington, Gary Gray, D. Woods.
Wow.
And it was directed by Patrick Ian Pope.
Okay.
And it came out last year around this time.
Okay.
So, I've just been grinding ever since.
Wow. So how did you lean that role?
Basically, it was my junior year in college. I'm from Mississippi, and I was attending the University of Southern Mississippi at the time.
Okay.
And I heard about this audition, and I was like, I've always wanted to be an actor. Maybe this will work out. I never did anything like that before, so I just recorded this horrible audition, and I emailed it to the director, Patrick Ian Pope. And he was just gracious enough to, get back to me and was like, maybe you should try standing up, or maybe you should do this, do that. And so I re-recorded it, and I sent it back to him, and not knowing Patrick was from that Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where I went to school at.
Small world.
And that's where we filmed the movie at. So everybody came to Hattiesburg. I met with Patrick, met with everybody, and it went from there.
Wow. Yeah. So you had, prior to Blackbird, you had no acting experience?
I didn't. I did a little community stuff. I was a part of this acting experience called Image. It was basically, like I said, the community. We did teen awareness stuff, like sexual abstinence, and it was more so motivating the youth. Okay. But that was more so all I've done.
Wow. Yeah. So, with no prior actor experience, what was that like being on set with Oscar winner Monique and D. Woods and all these people? What was that experience like?
I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. I was like, man, they gonna say, this dude, where did you find him, Patrick? But, man, I remember the first time I met Monique, it was right after I filmed my first scene, and the next scene, me and her was supposed to do our scene together. So not only was I acting with her, but the first time I'm meeting her, is right before our scene. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating. I'm like, do I got my lines down? Do I got it? And man, she came in and gave me the warmest hug I have ever received in my life. Really? It was like, we got this. We in this together, baby.
Wow.
So everyone was absolutely amazing.
So, that sounds so awesome. So, as far as learning the script as an actor, I always wonder, is that hard to do, to memorize lines and stuff like that?
That was one of my worries too. I was nervous about the fact that I would have to remember so much and direction, but it was honestly, it just flowed. It came with it. It felt natural. Okay. And especially the storyline behind Blackbird, I felt such a connection with it that, I didn't feel like I was acting at times. It felt like, this is what I would naturally do, or this is what someone naturally would do in that situation. Wow. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, outside of Blackbird, since then, what has happened in your career?
Well, I've graduated college.
Okay, amen. College grad from where?
The University of Southern Mississippi.
Okay.
And thank God.
Yes.
So I moved to Georgia. I live in Columbus, Georgia at the moment, and I felt it was closer to be there than Mississippi. Right. And I'm with an agency now, and I've been auditioning. I recently filmed for this show called Saints and Sinners. It's coming March 6th.
Yes, I saw that.
To Bounce Network. So I'm super excited about that. It's some incredible names attached to it, some surprises attached to it. So I'm just excited for y'all to see.
So what is the Saints and Sinners? What's the basis of that show?
Saints and Sinners. Oh man.
Because that just sounds Saints and Sinners. It's
yes,
black and white. What is that about?
Okay, Saints and Sinners. Now, just for an example. You know, sometimes when you go to church, there's this big production, there's this big of like, you know, like you think everything's just perfect.
Right.
And with Saints and Sinners, you actually get to see what happens behind the scenes.
What?
The dirty work, the secrets, the gambling, the trading money. It's just so much that's going down in Saints and Sinners, and you get to see it firsthand. Like the secrets that everyone is trying to hold from each other, and
you might talk about church people,
pastors, first ladies,
what they do
deacons,
outside of church,
what they do in the church.
Oh,
nobody's
in the
supposed
church.
to know.
Okay,
see, that's what's so good about it, because you know you see these people and you're like, oh wow, you know, first lady, pastor, you know, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
But little do you know what pastor doing with all the money and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's amazing. It comes out March 6th.
Okay.
9, 8 Central on Bounce Network.
On Bounce Network.
Yes.
So who's the director behind that one?
Luckily with the TV show, they switched up directors.
Oh, they did?
So there was an amazing director who did like the first 3 episodes, and then there was another director that came in that's doing like a couple more episodes. So everyone that has touched this project is doing an absolutely amazing job.
Amazing job.
Yes.
Okay. Can you say who's on the show yet or not yet?
Well, it's a couple surprises. Just to give you a few, Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Okay.
And Keith Robinson.
Wow.
And we'll have to see who else.
Let's
Well,
see
myself.
Well, okay. Obviously. Hey, Julian.
Julian. Yeah.
And so, how did that role come about?
It was probably around October. Actually, it was in September. I auditioned for another role for this project, but I didn't get that role, and I happened to hear back from them in October for the role of Taj.
Oh.
And Taj is basically a 19-year-old. He's a part of the youth choir. He feels like he has everything figured out until this one situation occurs that kind of just changes his life, changes his outlook on everything.
Man, that's such an amazing thing. Like Saints and Sinners, so they're pretty much like airing the church people dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like, it goes on.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I'm telling you, like, you're going to be like, what? You doing what? Yeah, so
and then a pastor of a church, right?
Pastor of a church, first lady, daughters.
So you said daughters?
Choir directors.
Okay. They put everybody
just, you know, and it's so good and it's so pure. It's just, it's so perfectly written, and it catches you. It's so beautiful.
And what's the date again?
March 6th.
March 6th, 9 Central on Bounce TV.
Yes.
Okay, Bounce, y'all make sure y'all gotta check that out. And Blackbird, is that on DVDs now?
Yeah, it's on DVD, Walmart, Target, Amazon, Netflix account, you know. You want to look it up.
Right. Okay, so anything, other projects coming up in 2016?
Well, definitely right now I'm taking voice lessons, acting classes, and I'm trying to, you know, tune my voice up a little bit more. I'm trying to, you know, work on my acting a little bit. So
that's what's up.
And auditioning, of course. So.
And auditioning. Yeah, that's very important, right?
Yes, yes.
That's pretty freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, it is.
Being an actor, I always wondered, like, how is that being an actor? Like, is it like, you know, all these lines you gotta remember? That was like my worst nightmare, like thinking about that. But I guess as you get used to it, it starts to flow.
Yeah, it feels natural.
Yeah,
definitely, it feels natural.
Okay, and if you mess up, they be like, cut.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. It's not. See, when I was in college, I was a theater major.
Okay.
So you know, when you go out there and perform, you kind of just. You gotta get it.
Right.
You know, there ain't no, all right, audience, pause.
Right.
You know, it's like.
They're like, cameras are rolling.
Yeah, you gotta go. You better act.
Right.
So with television and film, you definitely get the opportunity to, you know, they'll say cut. You can kind of regroup a little bit.
Okay.
Read over your lines a little bit more, and definitely work on the connection between your castmates a little bit more.
Okay. So is it a big difference in filming for a TV show and filming in a movie?
I would say, because this is my first show that I've ever worked on too, so there definitely is a difference. I know with the film, it kind of was like you know, we would film this scene first and then film, like, we could film the opening scene of the movie and then jump to, like, the next scene would be probably, like, the closing scene.
Okay.
You know, I thought, everything would be in order, but, you know, it kind of switches up.
Oh.
And with film, with television, it's like that as well, but it's all within the first season. You know, so it's kind of a little bit more in order.
Right.
You know, you may step out of order a little bit, but, you know, it's kind of in order. And it does move fast.
It does move fast.
Yeah. So it's kind of, they're both kind of quick.
Quick.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoy both of them.
How long did it take to film the TV show?
The show, I believe, was probably like 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
That's not
November,
bad.
December.
Yeah.
I think it kind of wrapped up early January.
Early January.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you get to, in March, you get to watch yourself on TV and have tweet parties
You
and
know,
stuff.
tweet, Instagram, you know, Facebook.
Right. So, what did you go to college for?
I went to college, well, before